like I've done with my past two. Oh, hello there, people of YouTube. I am the religious fanboy, and like the past two videos, if you're just wondering why I'm wearing the same thing in all three of them, is I am filming them all three in a row. So, yeah. I'm gonna read from the book of Proverbs. Chapter 3, verse 3 through 7. Never let loyalty and faithfulness leave you. Tie them around your neck. Write them on the tablet of your heart. Then you will find favor and high regard in the sight of God and man. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not rely on your own understandings. Think about Him in all your ways, and He will guide you on the right path. Don't consider yourself to be wise. Fear the Lord and turn away from evil. Two episodes I told you about how I was gonna start doing like a mini-series thing where I review the DC graphic novel Forever Evil and the Android Saga in the same video. What I'm gonna call it on the title is, this is the preload episode. The things that I'm gonna review are Justice League issue number 23, but this is the final part of Trinity War. I might review the entire event later down the road. And like always with the past DBZ reviews, I'm gonna start with the show first, because it's usually the less time consuming thing. And this one is called Goku's New Move Entrance Transmission. The 3-year training session begins. But not much happens in this episode. It is basically what it seems like. There is some funny stuff, I believe it's in this episode, of Vegeta and Bulma. I just think it's funny, those two. He's still trying to unlock Super Saiyan at the time. And Krillin goes back to Master Roshi's house. Some of the best artwork is, Krillin standing in the ocean, off the shore of the beach, and he's training in the water. The art, of the Ki Blast pushing the water and everything, it all looks really nice. And it is a good episode. Not much happens, and also they do a little bit of planning on where they should be at on the day the androids are supposed to arrive. I think the training sessions are just all really cool and good. And now on to the comic. What, I'm gonna kind of sum up what has been going on in Trinity War just a little bit. Basically, what you need to know is there's been a search to see who could open Pandora's back box to send the evils back into it. And, what the comic starts with a bunch of flashbacks of what has previously happened in the Justice League comic since the New 52 reboot. And, it talks about, like, it shows flashbacks to Starro and a bunch of other stuff, and also it goes to, the Outsider, and right now the person that has Pandora's box is John Constantine. What you might know him if you're like a big fan of the Image comics, or he did have a Constantine comic book title out at the same time as this event, and also he does have a new one that started in June. What I have not read any of. But, there's a lot of a whole bunch of people wanting to try to open the box. And they are, right now, like, all three of the Justice Leagues, Justice League of America, Justice League Dark, and the main Justice League are still heavily duking it out. Oh, and Mira's in there. I did not know she was in this comic, but that is cool. Well, also this comic features Pandora, Phantom Strange, and the Question. There's this really cool fight in between Superman and Wonder Woman. If you know the New 52 continuity, they are dating. I wonder what toll that has on the relationship. And Atomica, you kind of see that she's kind of turned on everybody. She has put a kryptonite thing, a shard of kryptonite, like, into Superman's nervous system, so that's slowly killing him, and that's what's brainwashing him. And Atomica calls Cyborg a traitor. There is a kind of somewhat disturbing part where the Cyborg's robotic suit is actually tearing itself off of him, because in a previous Justice League comic, right before the Trinity War, the Hall of Justice and this thing called the Grid, what the main source of the Grid's power is in Cyborg's suit. And it's just really kind of disturbing what the suit forms its own being called Grid, who's a bad guy who kind of plays a tech support bad guy in the in Forever Evil. And the person who finally opens the box I don't think this should be a spoiler, but it might be. It turns out to be the outsider who opens it, and then we find out it's a portal that actually sends all the it's so powerful all the heroes are sent flying back, and the people who come out of the portal are none other than the Earth 3 villain team, the Crime Syndicate. What actually, I was really excited when I first opened this comic and saw they were in here, because one of my most favorite supervillain team is actually the Crime Syndicate. But some background information on the Crime Syndicate is basically that they are the evil Earth 3 versions of the Justice League. And the last page ends with the entire Crime Syndicate. What it turns out, Atomica is a member of the Crime Syndicate, and they all and the entire Crime Syndicate comes charging at the heroes as Ultraman says the world belongs to the Crime Syndicate. And that is where the comic ends. May God be with you, and see you next time.